Welcome to another video on time series analysis. In this video, you are going to learn how to find seasonal indices using ratio to trend method. So this is one of the very important time series component. Here there are two terms in ratio to trend method. Firstly, we will take ratio as a percentage method, and also before we take a ratio, we find trend value using least square method. So this is named as ratio to trend method. So you know the components of time series analysis, in which I am going to deal in seasonal effect. In seasonal effect, this lecture will focus on ratio to trend method. So what does this method then? So under this method, what we found, seasonal indices under ratio to trend method is free from trend, and which is also an improved version of simple average method. So very importantly, in this method we remove trend by finding trend value using least square method, and also it assumes seasonal variation for a given period is constant fraction of the trend. So I'm not going to explain much about the explanation. Let us focus on how to solve the problem under ratio to trend method for finding seasonal indices. So for that you need to follow these many steps. First step, you are having whether a quarterly data or monthly data. You need to add quarterly or monthly figures of each year to make it annual data, and you need to present in the form of table. Firstly, you have given monthly data or quarterly data. Those quarterly and monthly data you must convert into annual data. For that you need to add. I will show you how while we are dealing with the problem. After adding annual data, after making it annual data, find quarterly or monthly average. You need to find an average. And after that you need to find a least square method. Using least square method, you need to find a trend value. Find the least square method. Then under this method you need to find a least square method also. So after finding trend value, you need to present the trend value as a monthly or quarterly wise. So to present the trend value, you need to take a quarterly increment here. Quarterly increment, I will show you how to take quarterly increment, and therefore you will get a quarterly wise data by increasing quarterly increment and by decreasing quarterly increment. So after this, after presenting value in a trend for month or quarter, those values that present the trend value as a percentage of trend value. So you have already presented the value in quarterly. Now you want to present as a percentage of trend value, for which you need to use a formula, that is old value given in the problem divided by trend value you found using least square method into 100. Using this formula you will find all the quarter values. So after this you need to find a total of each quarter. Thereafter you can find mean, and thereafter you can find grand mean, and at the end you will find seasonal indices. You have to follow these steps. These are very brief steps. So I will explain these steps in detail along with problem calculation. Yeah, this is a problem. So these are the annual sales of a particular firm. Using these data you need to find a seasonal indices. To find seasonal indices using ratio to trend method. Find a seasonal indices using ratio to trend method. So here you have 3 years, 2011, 12, 13, and you have 4 quarters for each of the years. So for these data we need to find a seasonal indices, for which we will use necessary steps, and finally we will find seasonal indices. Then let us go for step number 1. Step number 1 is add quarterly. Here quarterly data are given. Add quarterly figures of each year to make it annual data. Annual data we have to make it as annual data and present in the form of table. So that's very simple. For example, if we have to make it as a yearly data, then we need to concentrate on year. That is, so 24 plus 32 plus 38 plus 41 Here, this is a total of this 2011, and for 12 also you need to add all these 4 observation, and 13 also you need to find all these 4 observation, so that you will obtain yearly data. So here you can find yearly data, you can see yearly data. 2011, so this is 135, 2011 total, and for 2012 here it is 162, and 2013 here it is 177. So we have converted quarterly data into yearly data. Here we have only 3 values, that is 2011, 2012, 2013 yearly sales. So that we finished step number 1, we shall move on to step number 2. So step number 2 is find the yearly average. Now we have to take a average of that yearly data. So here yearly sales are added in the last step. In the first step we have added yearly data. So these are added with the 4 quarter, which means 135 divided by 4. So 162 divided by 4 and 177 divided by 4. So then we will obtain yearly average. So this is a yearly average. 135 by 4 is 33.75, 162 by 4 is 40.5, 177 by 4 is 44.25. So we have finished step number 2 also. Now we shall move on to the step number 3. So that is present the trend using method of least square. So far we converted in the first step the quarterly data into yearly data, and in the second step we have taken average of yearly data. In the third step we need to find a trend using method of least square. In my last lecture I have given a deliberated and elaborated lecture on least square method. I have made 2 videos on least square method. Please go for further details. Here I am going to solve you this problem using least square method. In the least square method we have to find xt and thereafter xy and thereafter x square. Then after that we will apply that to the basic equation, and we find normal equation, and so on. We will do that. So firstly we need to take a deviation. For that we need to find a deviation point. When we have 3 values here like even values, simply we can take mid value in the case of odd number. So here also we can apply this to the formula, that is t bar. Here we need to find t bar. For that we need to take summation t. Summation t is 2011 plus 2012 plus 2013, which is 6036, and number of n is 3. 6036 by 3 is 2012. So directly we can take this mid value, otherwise you can apply it to the formula also. Once we found that t bar, now we can go for finding xt. So next step is xt. xt means we have to find the deviation point, deviation value. For that we need xt for next column. For moving further for least square method, xt is equal to t minus t bar. T is this first year t bar we found here 2012. Now let us find xt for each year. For 2011 xt, 2012 and 2013 also. So this is a xt for 2011. T is 2011 and t bar is 2012 here. So 2011 minus 2012 is minus 1. Second one for the 2012, so this is 0. 2000 for 2013 1 plus 1. So using this we can form next column, that is xt. xt is t minus t bar. So here 2011 xt is minus 1, I have taken here. 2012 xt is 0, 2013 xt is 1, and summation of xt is always 0, and here we have taken summation of xy also. One more thing we need to keep in our mind, in the case of method of least square method, we were concentrating on total value. In the case of least square method, here we have to concentrate on average. So there are hereafter we need to take for consideration as average only. Now we found xt. Now we have to find xy and x square and trend value. So these are the necessary steps we need to find. Now let us concentrate on xy. Xy is simply this y, average y, and into xt. So that xy I have calculated here. So here 33.75 into -1, which is 33 minus 33.75, 40.5 into 0, which is 0, 44.25 into 1, that equal to 44.25 only, and 44.25 minus 33.75, which is summation xy is 10.5. Now let us move on to the x square. X square is very easy in this case because we have x value 1 2 3 3 values. We have -1 into -1, which is -1, 0 into 0 0, and 1 into 1 1. So summation x square is 2. Summation x square is 2. So therefore we found all the values to apply basic normal equation and basic and normal equation in the case of least square method. Now we have to find trend value. So for to calculate trend value, we need to go for further calculation again. So those calculation I will show you in the next slide, the working note for trend value. So for working note means we need to have a formula for finding trend value. There are different types to find least square method. One is linear trend equation, and another two methods are there, hyperparabola, like that. I am solving this problem using linear trend equation. For linear trend equation, formula is yt is equal to a plus b bt. So here we need to find a and also we need to find b. So for normal equation, a and b, for a formula is summation y by n. For b, which is summation xy divided by summation x square. Then firstly let us find a and b before we finding trend value for each year. So to find a and b, we need information like in the a summation y we need a summation y, and in the b we need summation xy and summation x square. So here we are having sufficient information to calculate a and b. So summation xy we added in the last column, last slide, summation xt square also, x square also, and summation xy also. Now we can apply to the formula to find normal equation of a and b. So for a, summation y by n, number of n in this case 3 years. So summation y is 118.5, number of n is 3. So 39.5, a value is 39.5 and b value is, so summation xy by x square, summation xy is here 10.5 divided by 2, x square is 2, so b value is 5.25. So after obtaining a and b value, we can move further for calculating trend equation, that is trend value. To find trend value, we need to apply to the trend equation. We have 3 years here, 2011, 2012, 2013, 3 years are there. To apply this equation, yt is at 2011. It can also be 2012 and 2013. So here let us calculate trend value for 2011. So a is 39.5 here, 39.5, b is 5.25, and for 2011 trend deviation is -1, for 2012 trend deviation is 0, and 2013 trend deviation is 1. So this is simply xy value, sorry, xt value. Here xt value for 2011 -1, for 2012 0, for 2013 1. So we can plot that now using trend deviation. 39.5 plus 5.25, here 5.25 into -1, which is -1 only, plus into minus 39.5 minus 5.25, which is 34.25. For 2012 trend value is 39.5 a, b 5.25, trend deviation is 0, so 39.5 plus 0 will be 39.5, and 2000 for 2013 39.5 A, 5.25 B, trend value is 1, so 5.25 into 1 is 5.25 only, 39.5 plus 5.25 which will be 44.75. so that we found trend value using method of least square under linear trend equation. Now we can plot the trend value into the equation, into the tabulation. So the trend value here you can see, trend value for 2011 is 34.25, trend value for 2012 is 39.5, trend value for 2013 is 44.75. So we also finished step number 3. We found a trend value using the method of least square. Now we shall move on to the next step, that is step number 4. Here we need to present the trend quarterly wise, for which we need to follow some tedious procedure, and which is very important to understand. I will go very elaborately, so please concentrate. So we have already found trend value. We need to present those trend value in the quarterly wise. Firstly, these are the trend value. We need to work a little bit over this trend value because we need to present the trend value quarterly wise. So for that we need to find quarterly increment. To find quarterly increment we need to concentrate on B in the basic equation, because B is a yearly decline in the trend value. That yearly decline is 5.25. so then the quarterly increment would be 5.25 by 4. 4 is a quarterly data. We have considered quarterly data. If it is monthly data, we would have divided by 12. Since it is quarterly data, we are dividing by 4. So 5.25 is a B value. B value in the normal equation, and 5.25 by 4 will be 1.3125. So now using this quarterly increment and using this trend value, we will find quarterly wise data. So for which I will give you a little explanation. For example, here for 2011, this trend value for 2011, this trend value for 2012, and this trend value for 2013. I am giving you an example for 2011. The trend value of the middle quarter, that is half of the second quarter and half of the third quarter, is 34.25. Imagine this is a center point, and in the backward half of the second quarter and half of the third quarter is 34.25. Here 34.25. This is a mid value. Since quarterly increment is 1.3125, this is a quarterly increment 1.3125. so we can obtain trend value for second quarter. How to obtain trend value for second quarter? So imagine here this is a mid value. Here we have second quarter to the backward, and first quarter also to the backward. To the forward we have third quarter, and we also have quarter 4. So for quarter, this is trend value for mid value for 2 quarters to the left and 2 quarters to the right. Now we can obtain trend value for second quarter as 34.25 minus 0.65625. So for quarter second and for quarter 1 we will take a minus value. For quarter third and for quarter 4 we will take a plus value. So we have divided 1.3125. We have made it a half to the second quarter, half to the third quarter. So when we made this half, we got 0.65625. So for second quarter 34.25 minus 0.65625, and for third quarter, as I told you, we will add, that is 34.25 plus 0.65625. So thus for second quarter and third quarter respectively we got this value. For second quarter we will get 33.59, and for third quarter we will get 34.9, which means for 34.25 for second quarter we have subtracted from this 34 from this mid value, and for third value we have added to this mid value, and so on. We will find all quarters value using this step. So yeah, let us continue for first quarter and fourth quarter. How do we obtain data for first and fourth quarter? I will show you again. So here consequently the trend value for first quarter. How to find first trend value for first quarter? So imagine in the second quarter we have just subtracted half of the quarterly increment. Now we have to subtract full quarterly increment. So again for fourth quarter we need to add full value of quarterly increment. For third quarter we have added half of the quarterly increment. So as I am showing you here, for first quarter 34.25 minus full quarterly increment is 1.3125, which is 32.94, and for fourth quarter 34.25 plus 1.3125, so which is 35.56. So this is an example for 2011. We will continue the same procedure for rest of the years, which means for 2012, 2013. If you are still confused about how I am doing all this, I will show you here. Look at here. So this is a trend value we obtained in the using least square method. Trend value, as I told you, this is a second quarter, and this is a first quarter, and this is a third quarter, and this is a fourth quarterly increment. So here if you want to get second quarter data for 2011, you need to subtract 34.25 by minus 0.65625. So if you want to get the 2011 quarterly increment, you need quarterly wise data, you need to subtract 34.25 minus 1.3125. In the same way, if you want to get the third quarter value, you need to add to the third and fourth quarter, subtraction to the second and first quarter. So you need to add 34.25 plus 0.65625, and for fourth quarter you need to add full quarterly increment 1.3125 to 34.25, and the next for 2012 also same thing, from 39.5, here 39.5 is a 2012 quarterly trend value. For second quarter of 2012 we will add subtract 0.65625 from 39.5, and for first quarter we will subtract full quarterly increment minus 1.3125, and for third quarter in 2012 we will add 0.65625 to the 39.5, and for fourth quarter we will add 1.3125 to the 39.5. In the same way we will do the same procedure for 2013 also. 2013 trend value is 44.75. So we will add to obtain second quarter of 2013 by 0.65625, and for first quarter we will subtract minus 1.3125, and for third quarter we will add 0.65625 to the 44.75, and for fourth quarter we will add 1.3125 to the trend value. So this value is simply 0.65625 is divided by quarterly increment. Quarterly increment is 1.3125, which is shared between two quarters, that this is this one, and in the case of first quarter and fourth quarter we have to take full increment. In the case of second and third quarter we have to divide the quarterly increment by 2, and we have to add and subtract. So after doing all this, these are the final output of quarterly data. So trend values for quarters, these are final output. Here how I obtained 33.59 is I have subtracted 0.65625 from 34.25, so that I got 33.59. So for 32.94 I have subtracted 1.3125 from this 34.25, and for third quarter in 2011 I have added 0.65625 to the 34.25. For fourth quarter I have added full quarterly increment 1.3125 to 34.25, and I have did same procedure for all the years quarter to obtain trend values for quarter. So by this we finished that trend value, presenting the trend value in the quarterly wise. So let us move on to the next step, that is step number 5. Step number 5 is again very important. What does it? Step number 5 is, now we have to present the trend values. In the last step, in the fourth step, we obtain trend values. So now we have to present the trend value as a percentage of trend value. That is why we call this as ratio. Since we take ratio in the case of ratio to trend method, so we call this as ratio to trend method. Since we take a trend value, find a trend value using least square method, and also we take a ratio using percentage in the case, so we call this as ratio to trend method. The formula for taking percentage of trend value is old quarter value divided by trend value into 100. This is a very simple formula. Old value given in the problem, I showed you in the first slide only problem. That problem you have quarterly value, that is a old value, divided by trend value into 100. We have to make it. So I will show you the necessary calculation for obtaining this. These are the trend values for quarter we obtained in the step number 4. This is the final output of step number 4, and this is the quarter value, old value given in the problem. Remember, I am taken this is from problem. This value only we converted into yearly data. Later we took average, and later we applied least square method. But here we have to apply to the formula. That's why I have taken. Now let us apply to formula then and find each and every value. Here I have given working note for all the quarters of respected years. Here the working note for present the trend value as a percentage of trend value. For that I will explain here. Example for 2011 quarter 1, how to obtain percentage of trend value is old value. Firstly, old value. Here in this table we have old value. In this table we have trend value. Old value of 2011 quarter 1 is what? This is 24. And trend value of 2011 quarter 1 is 32.94. So 24 by 32.94 into 100. So this is what percentage of trend value is 72.86 for 2011 first quarter. And for second quarter of 2011 is old value is 32 and trend value is 33.59. So here 32 by 33.59 into 100, this is 95.27. And third quarter of 2011 old value is 38 and trend value is 34.9. Here 38 by 34.9 into 100 will be 108.9. And for quarter 4 of 2011 old value is 41 and trend value is 35.59. Old value 41, trend value 35.59 into 100, which is 115.3. And now for 2012 quarter 1 old value is 32 and trend value is 38.19. So 32 by 38.19 is 83.79. For 2012 quarter 2, 36 is old value, 38.84 is a new value. 36 by 38.84 into 100 will be 92.69. For third quarter of 2012 old value is 48 and trend value is 40.16. 48 by 40.16 into 100 will be 119.5, and so on. I have calculated all the percentage of trend value for all the years quarters. Say for example for 2013 quarter 4 old value here is 48 and trend value here is 46.06. Fourth quarter, this is a fourth quarter data of 2013. I have applied to the formula, and percentage of trend value is 104.21. So that we have finished step number 5. We have to present this data in the form of tabulation. I will show you this in the next slide. Look at here. I will apply. These are the quarterly data of percentage of trend value. So completely new values. In each and every step we are obtaining new value. This is a very tedious calculation. You need to understand the steps very importantly. So here we found percentage of trend value here. We have inserted all the values of percentage of trend value. For 2011 quarter 1, here 2011 quarter 1 72.86 I have inserted here. For quarter 2 2011 95.27 here. For quarter 3 2011 108.9 here it is. And for quarter 4 2011 115.3 here it is. And for 2012 quarter 1 83.79 here it is. And for 2012 quarter 2 92.69 here it is. And for 2012 quarter 3 is 119.5, and 2012 quarter 4 is 112.8, and for 2013 quarter 1 is 96.69, quarter 2 is 106.6, quarter 3 value is 88.9, quarter 4 value is 104.21. So I have listed all the value, and now we obtained new values as a percentage of trend value. So we have finished most of the calculation as of now. Now we have to obtain average and grand average and finally seasonal indices. So next step is this: find the total value of each quarter. We have quarterly value we found this in the last step, in the step number 5. We need to find the total of each quarter first. So total of each quarter, we need to concentrate on quarter only. Here you should not concentrate on yearly data. So here total of first quarter is this 253.32. Total of second quarter is this 294.56. Total of third quarter is 317.3. Total of fourth quarter is 332.31. So we have finished step number 6 also. Let us move on to the step number 7. So step number 7 is finding mean and grand mean using the percentage of trend value. We found total of percentage of trend value in the last step. Now we have to find mean and grand mean. So this is the formula for finding mean, grand mean. For grand mean, we need to add all the mean and divided by number of elements. Here we are dealing with quarterly data. So we have 4 quarters in a year. So we need to add 1, 2, 3 and 4 values and divided by the 4 only, so that we will get a grand mean. So this is a table, a percentage of trend value. In the table only we have obtained mean and grand mean. So here these are the total of first quarter, second quarter, third quarter and fourth quarter. For in the phone quarter we have 3 years. This is first year, second year, third year. We have 3 years. So 253 by 32 is average is mean is 84.44, and for second quarter 294.56 by 98.19 is by 3 is 98.19. For third quarter 317.3 by 3 will be 105.77, and for fourth quarter 332.31 by 3 will be 110.77. So these are the mean of each quarter, and when we add all together, this is a total value of mean, and add and divided by the 4, because we have added 4 values here, 4 values. So that grand mean is 99.7925. So I have shown this value as a separately also. So quarter 1 mean is 253.32 by 3, which is 84.44, and for second quarter also you can see 294.56 by 3, 317.3, 332.31. So these are the quarterly average. So and we shall obtain that grand mean also. So we have added all the means. This is 84.44 first value, first mean, first quarter mean, 98.19 here, second quarter mean, third quarter mean 105.77, 110.77, fourth quarter mean. This is total 399.17 by 4, number of quarter added here 4. So grand mean will be 99.7925, which is a grand mean. So finally we can find seasonal indices. To find seasonal indices, I have pasted here the last step data, output data for calculation, and I will also show you separate calculation for which. So for firstly formula for seasonal indices is average divided by grand average, grand mean by grand mean into 100. So here mean of first quarter, let us find the seasonal indices of first quarter. Mean of first quarter is 84.44 here mean, and grand mean here is 99.7925 grand mean into 100 will be 84.62 is a seasonal indices of first quarter. So for second quarter mean is 98.19 mean, and grand mean 99.7925 into 100 will be 98.39. So let's see third quarter calculation then. So for third quarter mean is 105.77 and grand mean is 99.7925 into 100 will be 105.99 is a seasonal indices of third quarter. And for fourth quarter mean of fourth quarter is 110.77 and grand mean is 99.7925. so that season indices of fourth quarter is 111. So that we obtained seasonal indices also. Here we can see that final output of seasonal indices: first quarter seasonal indices, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. When we add all these together 400, and when we take average of these is 100. This is perfectly problem is right, because the total and average is 100%. So this is how we will obtain seasonal indices using ratio to trend method. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you understood the problem, and these are the merits and demerits of ratio to trend method. These are the sources sourced by me to prepare this video. I hope that I cleared much. Please do subscribe to my Vision Academy YouTube channel for further more videos on statistics. Thank you so much.